Okay, that was irritating. I have a whole 2 minute video, or more than 2 minutes, and then it got stopped because I had a call that came in that was really important. Um, so we've had a really great weekend, and I really want to get back to this video or this channel being more, in addition to updates about what's going on with me, updates on the whole motivation thing. I don't know if you've ever met anyone who's been defeated. I may have said this in a previous video. When we started going over to see Steve, I saw defeat in his eyes, and this really hurt me because he was never defeated before. And we've been homeless. He's been in prison. I've never seen the defeat in his eyes. The reason we went over there yesterday doesn't matter, but when we, on Sunday, when we went to go see Santa, I saw light in his eyes again. It was amazing. He looked just like there was hope in his life again. When we went over to see him yesterday, which was Monday, I saw his old lady. And this is the first time I've ever actually looked at her in the daylight. And she's defeated. And I remember being there. And I'm going to read a post I just put on FB regarding this, because this is the whole point of my video. Have you ever met somebody who was defeated by life? I've got to correct that. I used to be. A lot of times, people on the street, abuse victims, and people in prison, they have lost hope, lost the light in their eyes of a new, brighter day on the horizon. They have accepted that today is the best I can have. Funny what it took for me not to be defeated, to make the best of today, because tomorrow isn't promised, and good, bad, great, or horrible, as long as I try, I win. And that's the whole point of my thing, is try. What'd I do today? Oh, I cleared out my living room, and I vacuumed the living room to the hallway. This is something that has to be done quite often, and if there's things like a bucket of wrapping in my front room, it can be overwhelming. Christmas is going to be hell. I had to fight with housing in my apartment complex yesterday. IDK what's going to happen, but I was livid. They've just been, between housing and my apartments, there was not an agreement on the rent, and that's because of my apartments. So anyways, that was my one thing, aside from getting out of bed and doing my therapy, and now I'm going to work. But, in addition to, like I said, there are people who are in prison, and these are the people I'm not going to say lifers. I've known a few lifers in prison, and some of them are defeated, and some of them have hope. Have hope that parole will come. Some of these women go to the parole hearing with armor on, and not the armor of God, and others go in there with hope. Now, the one person I know that I didn't know she was a lifer when I met her until she was prepping, she goes in there with hope, but given her mental stability, she's never going to parole, and that's what's not fair. Her entire sentence is not fair. But she's been in prison for 15 years, and when I knew her, she still smiled and laughed, and it wasn't like prison for her. I tried not to make it like prison for me. I mean, where I spent the majority of my time down in Southern California is not the typical prison setting like it is in Central California at VSPW, which is now a men's prison, and and the Chowchilla prison. You know, that's 8 men crammed in a cell with a shower and a toilet and 2 sinks. And some lockers. This is not a fun place to be. And I'm glad that I went down there. And, you know, I have a dear, dear friend who spent the majority of her prison term up at VSP, and we met in CIW. She's actually on the streets now. She's working as a drug counselor. She's another one who shouldn't have been in prison. But she helped me make the best of my prison term. And that's where you got to see is making the best of today in order to have a better tomorrow. That's why me going to therapy is so important. Because processing the bullshit of my day-to-day, if I don't do that, I end up how I was, you know. I've been doing once every 2 weeks, sometimes less than that, with my therapist, and it was not helping. So, you know, right now we're back to once every week, just so I can stay stable, because I have so many emotional things going on right now. So have I done anything today that can be my one? Yes, cleaning this front room, going to work, staying at work for my full shift. I've got to get dressed right now. I'm got to cut this short, but it's just like, I just wanted to let you know. And when I saw my ex's old lady, and I saw her defeated, I guess I kind of felt bad for her, but then again, I'm glad I'm not her, you know, and I've said that in another video, you know, and I knew she was defeated. I knew she was accepting his negative behavior. I didn't see in the daylight the defeat in her eyes. And having that in somebody that you know and care about like him is devastating. Seeing it in somebody who is where you used to be is enlightening. Because I am not defeated. I will not allow a man to, and that might be why I'm not in a relationship, I will not allow a man to defeat me. I will not allow life to defeat me. I have a fabulous life. I mean, sometimes it can be really cruddy, but my child thinks I am so pretty. He wants to marry me, but of course, you know, any good parent, they're the child one. Yeah, that's just silly. He is just wonderful. I have great people behind me, an awesome employer who definitely values me. I have a home, a car, a job, my child, food in my fridge, enough that I can feed 2 other people. Well, 90% of that's because the kid doesn't eat. So, I mean, we're going to have a great Christmas. It may not be some of the Christmases we've had. I mean, we've had Christmases where the trees were, you know, the presents were just around the tree. But Jason's not a materialistic kid. He is like me. He would rather have time. And he loves to give, and he's, you know, a very loving, wonderful kid. Now, the presents, they're not going to be a lot, and most of them aren't from me. Most of them are from charities. But, and I'm allowing him to have his dad for Christmas, which is very important. I'm going to upload this right now because I have to go to work. And, so peace out. Just try one thing today. And if you don't do it, don't beat yourself up. If you do it, see if you can do something else. Just try for me. All right. I'd love comments of you telling me what you have and have not been able to do. And that's why I share mine is, so hey, I'm struggling with this too. It's not an everyday thing that I'm able to do these. And sometimes it's just because it has to be done. And if I can put it off, I will. So, I'd love you to tell me what you feel is good for you and what you've done. And I'm definitely going to give you a high five, even if you don't comment. High five, you did great today. All right, talk to you later.